From Collegeville, Minnesota, where St. Thomas has defeated St. John's 27-26 in overtime, breaking a long losing streak dating back to the last win back in 1997. How does it feel, first of all, to get that monkey off the program's back a little bit?
It feels great. I don't want to say it's the end-all, be-all of this program. This game never has been, in my opinion, and never will be. But it's an awfully nice victory to get, and it's a necessary step in the process in our journey.
Tell me about going to the locker room at halftime, having missed a field goal, a short field goal, fumbled the ball away, thrown an interception, basically had four opportunities inside the 30 and come away empty.
Pretty disgusted. I thought the effort overall on the offensive side was subpar. And, we told our kids very simply, you just gave them every opportunity to pull away. And yet it's a three-score game and we got the ball coming out. And we've been in these games before. We had one last year exactly like it. And that's what experience gives us. It doesn't entitle us to anything, but it does give us a benchmark. And our kids kind of just settled down a little bit. And we challenged them. We have some pretty good players. And I challenged some guys like Ben Wortman and Fritz Waldvogel in our offensive line on offense. And in the end, they came through. Very excited to see that.
Did the playoff experience last year translate? Did that help any time at all this week?
No question. I mean, it wasn't a playoff situation where you're one and done. I mean, we had a nice 3-week run, and although it didn't end up ultimately with the championship, those 3 weeks, I think, provided us logistically a lot of reps, but emotionally, and I think that's the big part of it, an opportunity to play in some big games. Sure, this is a big game, but it's no bigger, probably not even as big in some ways as the co-game when we're playing at home in round 2 and we beat them 34-7, because that was a must-win situation. This is a huge game. We're very, very excited to get this win. And, I think our kids are going to take it in stride.
As an offensive guy especially, what was it like having Ben Wortman back and seemingly full strength today?
I'd say full strength, but not full speed. Okay. Or cutability, even though I don't think that's a word. But, he was a little rusty in the first half, as you saw. And I think that he needed to knock that rust off, so to speak. We would have wished that we could have played him last week to knock it off so we didn't have to waste a half here. But overall, it was good to see him back in there, and I think as the rhythm and the flow of the game started to come together, he got stronger. And we say all the time, the game gets longer, we get stronger, and he certainly is an example of that today.
Especially in overtime, where you guys just basically put the ball in his hands.
Well, we put it in his hands, and there's also guys like Johnny Curtis pulling around the end and Logan Marks down blocking. But, yeah, we mashed a little bit, and I felt pretty confident that if we could run the ball early, that we could wear him down. And we thought that if the longer the game was to go on, the better we felt about the matchup with our offensive line and their defensive front. So when it went to overtime, we were ecstatic about it because we felt pretty confident that we'd be able to do what we wanted to do, and we did it.
Let's talk about the end game a little bit. You guys miss an extra point, then come up with a big interception, get the ball first, score first in overtime, and then watch as they miss an extra point.
Yeah, it's not conventional, nor is it how we drew it up. But as coaches, you got to kind of take what comes to you. I felt entirely comfortable with lining up for that PAT, and obviously we missed it. But I also felt entirely comfortable as they were driving down the field. Our defense is very good. We give up yards, but we don't give up many points. Today was maybe a little more than usual. But I thought at the most we would have a field goal attempt. And we also thought they were being a little bit too liberal with the football. And when the opportunity arose, our guys made a play on it and helped us win.
Tell me about Dakota Tracy as a guy who's matured for you guys in this position, but it seemed like once again it was his legs as much as, if not more than his arm this afternoon.
It was neither. It was his heart. He was a 5'10" kid that plays with the heart of a giant. And sure, he ran the ball well, but we win some games because of arms and legs, but the University of St. Thomas program wins a lot more games because of their minds and their hearts, and that's what Dakota is. And that's why I'm very excited to have him as the leader of our offense.
How do you keep the kids focused? There's a lot of regular season left for you guys, and Bethel's still undefeated too.
Yeah, let's not forget about Bethel. And there's a couple other teams that are one-loss teams out there. So the bottom line is I'm not going to sit here and say this is only 1/10 of it. We understand it's a big game, but in the same breath, if we come out and put all our effort in and get this win, and then next week we don't get that, we're in the same spot. Because the records and the ranking committees don't care who you beat. They just care about your win-loss. So if you look at it that way, it's usually not too tough, especially in the sport of football. We don't play 40 games. We play 10 that were guaranteed. And I think our guys will be ready. I think last week a lot of people would have said maybe they're looking ahead and it's a trap game. But I think we proved last week that that wasn't the case. And I think if you come watch us play next week versus Augsburg, you'll say, wow, I'm pretty impressed with how they rebounded from a big emotional win.
Coach, congratulations. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.
That's Coach Glenn Caruso of St. Thomas. His team defeated St. John's 27-26 in overtime.